Hello, and welcome back to another Fishy Plant Man plant video. I'm over here in the old 55, kind of dirty, yeah. And I had a couple of ideas come to mind thanks to this monstera here. What is it called? Monstera adansonii? And is what happened is this little bit of green, well, green and black now, but this little bit of green was all wilted and it just fell off in my hand. So I thought, well, I can throw it away or I can put it here and see what it does. So I did. And the very first thing that happened, it plumped up a little bit, but the very first thing that happened is that leaf turned black, and a good bit, I don't want to damage roots by moving plants around, but a good bit of that leaf went black. And I thought, okay, well, if you're just going to burn to a crisp, which I don't know, how it was doing that. I don't know how too much light could get to this area, except maybe for the Marineland plant light there, maybe somehow, some way. But I decided this is where you're going to grow, or this is where you're going to die. So it continued to perk up its leaves. That one never unrolled, but it put out that one. And it's doing, so far, just fine. On top of that, you can't see all of them, but maybe if I get the angle just right, there's a node coming out or activating right there. And further down, there's even more. So it might have up to, 4 new stems come out. But I had to be brave and just let it decide what it wanted to do. I was confident in my placement that it had a chance. And yes, when the leaves started turning black, I thought, oh, maybe I made a mistake. But if I did, it'll die there. If I didn't, well, we'll see what happens if I didn't make a mistake. Because it doesn't look like I did. Kind of see that node if you look down there under the leaf. But that's where it's going to live. And like I said, it'll die there or it'll succeed. But I don't want to move these around because they've got roots going into that white mesh. And I don't want to damage them. They're kind of using the roots to hang on to the mesh, which is the point. And I don't want to damage them because, the monstera there's got enough problems without any more being created. Which brings me to my next point. Okay, that was just a bit of luck. But kind of the point of the video is getting branching off of plants without doing damage, basically. Because what's the traditional way to get roots? Or roots, not roots, although, that kind of goes with it. But what's the original way to get plant? I'll get this right one day. What is the traditional way to get branching on your plant? Prune it. Except pruning, by definition, is causing damage. I might have found a way to get your plants to branch or reactivate a node without causing damage. Let's go to a ficus. All right, here is a close-up on my ficus or rubber tree plant. I'm in cramped quarters here. I can't really get very far away from it. But if I follow it up, my jacket and things in the background, goes up. I put a little glass bird on there, and it got a leaf since then. It goes up to there. Okay. The point of that is if you follow the trunk, it has all the way down to that nasty pot down there with all kinds of leaves in it. I just let them compost. Not really worried about it. But you can see there is no cuts. I have never cut this particular plant. It wasn't cut when I got it, and I don't like, those stumpy ends, so I decided I wasn't going to cut it. Even if it was just going to be a stick with leaves on it, I wasn't going to cut it. To me, that looks better than stumps. But it still has a branch, and back behind a branch. Now, what is the difference? We've got little stubby branch. Is that a weak growth, or did it just redirect its energy? I think it redirected its energy, because right here beside it is a branch, very healthy branch, that didn't just stop. And here is a branch that did kind of stop, but it's getting tangled up with the Dracaena. So, why did these branches grow in the first place? Well, they started not long after being put in this east-facing window. Okay, there's my view, part of it anyway. And the sun, when it comes in and shines right on that area of the trunk. That's where the roots came from. Nothing really far down, and, nothing really far up either. But that trunk kind of gets blasted with sun in the summertime. We're pretty well into winter now, so it doesn't get as much sun. Like right now, the sun's not out. But that's where the branches came, where the sun kind of hits the trunk directly. These two were pretty good. The ficus was shorter, and you kind of see that stem there. But the Dracaena was shorter, and that branch wasn't really interfering with it. But the Dracaena shot up. It's shot up above its stake now. So it kind of got in the way of that branch, and that branch just kind of stopped. This branch, not so much. There's its growing tip. It's happy enough. Not growing particularly fast now that it's winter. But it's not really getting blocked as much. Yeah, the plants on the windowsill might be, taking some of its light. But it's happy. It's, making the biggest leaves. And the one down here, well, I think that it's getting, some blockage. Not getting the light that it was, and just kind of stopped. It's still healthy enough, but I got some leaves apparently I need to clean up. Still healthy enough. It's just not growing. So, in order to make a rubber tree branch, you certainly don't have to cut it, but maybe you do have to put good light in the area that you want the branching. I'm kind of happy with it branching down there. And, maybe some point higher up, we could get some more branching. But I'm kind of happy with that branching. Could use one coming out the other side. But maybe if I turn it, I can get one coming out of the other side. So yeah, maybe you can induce branching with nothing more than good lighting where you want it on the trunk. Okay, I'm going to think about what I want to do for this Dracaena. Probably nothing immediately. I'll just let it grow a bit and then decide. And this is just cracking me up. Little frog is nibbling on a flower. He plucked a flower off one of these plants and is eating it. Yeah, sure he is. He's a glass frog. He's not eating that. It just fell on his nose. Okay, take all the fun out of it. See if I care. Talk to you next time.